Do they disrespect you, test your patience, or try to undermine your worth? As Stoics, we don't crumble. We rise with calm strength and unshakable dignity. Welcome back, fellow Stoics. Today, we'll uncover 5 powerful ways to handle people who don't respect you, all inspired by Stoic philosophy. Whether it's a rude colleague, a condescending friend, or someone trying to provoke you, these methods will help you maintain your composure, reclaim your power, and leave them speechless. If you're ready to stand strong like Marcus Aurelius, subscribe now and hit the bell so you never miss the wisdom that makes you unstoppable. Let's dive in. The first way is the silent stare. The first way to handle disrespect is through the silent stare. A calm, steady gaze that speaks volumes without uttering a single word. Disrespect thrives on reaction. They want you to lash out, defend yourself, or shrink under their words. But when you respond with silence and presence, you disarm them completely. Their strategy unravels because you've given them something they cannot comprehend: control, restraint, and the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth. Marcus Aurelius, in all his wisdom, reminds us it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your silent stare communicates, "I will not let your actions move me." Imagine this. Someone insults you in a meeting, expecting you to stumble or fight back. Instead of reacting, you meet their gaze, unflinching, and let the weight of their words hang in the air. Suddenly, they're the ones who look uncertain. They begin to squirm under their own behavior, exposed for what it is, a desperate attempt to provoke and dominate. This moment is yours because you've chosen not to play their game. Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing them to confront their actions without the distraction of your reaction. The silent stare is more than a tactic. It's a statement of power. It says, "I am rooted, and you cannot shake me." Epictetus teaches us, no one can harm you unless you consent. By refusing to give them the emotional reaction they seek, you refuse to grant them power over your peace of mind. The silent stare is not passive. It is active restraint. It is the mark of someone who understands that dignity is preserved not through words but through presence. This approach works because it creates a vacuum. Most people, especially those who thrive on disrespect, are not prepared for silence. They expect chaos, anger, or retreat. Anything but stillness. Silence shifts the dynamic, putting them on uncertain ground. It forces them to reckon with their own insecurity because, suddenly, they don't have control. As Seneca said, the greatest remedy for anger is delay. The silent stare is that delay. It is the space in which their disrespect dissolves into nothingness. Think of a parent dealing with a child's tantrum. The child screams, expecting to provoke a reaction, but the parent remains calm and composed. Over time, the tantrum loses its force because it has no audience. The same principle applies here. Disrespect is a tantrum of the ego, and your silent stare is the steady presence that renders it powerless. It is not about suppressing your emotions, it's about mastering them. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies in self-control, and the silent stare is a practical embodiment of that principle. In real life, the silent stare is a powerful tool for navigating difficult situations. Consider a colleague who makes a sarcastic comment during a presentation, trying to undermine you. Instead of reacting defensively or snapping back, you pause, turn to them, and look them directly in the eye. The room grows quiet. Your calmness fills the space, and suddenly, their comment seems small and petty. Without saying a word, you've shifted the power dynamic. This is the strength of the silent stare. It doesn't just protect your dignity, it enhances it. On a deeper level, the silent stare is a reflection of your inner state. It requires the stillness of mind that Stoicism cultivates. Marcus Aurelius frequently wrote about the importance of maintaining inner peace, even amid external chaos. He advises, be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved and the raging of the sea falls still around it. The silent stare is your rock, your immovable presence in the face of another storm. It reminds them and yourself that you are in control. But let's not overlook the challenges of mastering this practice. It's not easy to remain calm when someone disrespects you. The urge to defend yourself, to argue or retaliate, can be overwhelming. That's where the wisdom of the Stoics becomes invaluable. They teach us that reacting out of anger only gives our power away. By choosing silence, you reclaim that power. You demonstrate not only self-respect, but also a level of discipline that others can't ignore. There's also a psychological element to the silent stare that makes it so effective. Humans are wired to seek feedback in social interactions. When someone disrespects you, they expect a reaction to validate their behavior. When that reaction doesn't come, they are left in a state of uncertainty. This discomfort forces them to reflect, even if only subconsciously. In this way, your silence becomes a lesson, teaching them more about their behavior than words ever could. The silent stare is not about revenge or superiority. It's about asserting your inner strength and maintaining your peace. It's about showing that your worth is not up for debate, that you will not be dragged into their negativity. It is a tool for creating boundaries without raising your voice, for protecting your dignity without diminishing theirs. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In the grander scheme of your Stoic journey, the silent stare is a stepping stone toward mastering your emotions and reactions. It aligns with the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with nature, of accepting what you cannot control while focusing on what you can. When you practice the silent stare, you're not just handling disrespect, you're embodying the Stoic mindset of resilience, clarity, and purpose. If you've ever experienced the transformative power of silence, if you've seen how a single moment of calm can disarm an entire storm, comment stillness below. Let this be a reminder that the path of wisdom is not about defeating others. It's about mastering yourself. As we move forward, we'll explore another Stoic approach to handling disrespect, one that builds on the power of silence by teaching you when to say absolutely nothing at all. Stay with me. This next technique will show you how to make your silence even stronger. The second way is to embrace silence as an answer. The second way to handle disrespect is to embrace silence as an answer. Silence is not passive, it is power in its purest form. When they provoke you with cruel words, belittling comments, or accusations meant to unnerve you, they are not seeking the truth. They are seeking chaos. Their aim is to disrupt your peace, to draw you into their storm. But instead of granting them what they want, you respond with quiet strength. This silence is not empty. It's charged with confidence and clarity. Epictetus reminds us of this strength when he says, "If someone speaks badly of you, do not defend yourself against their accusations. Instead say, 'He must not know my other faults, or he would have mentioned those too.'" In this way, silence doesn't just protect your dignity, it reveals theirs to be hollow. Disrespect thrives on reaction. It's a fire, and your anger or defensiveness is the fuel it feeds on. But silence is water. It extinguishes the flames before they can spread. Picture this. Someone makes a cutting remark about you in front of others, expecting you to bristle or snap back. Instead, you pause, offer a calm look, and say nothing. The weight of their own words lingers in the air, suddenly heavy and exposed. In the absence of your reaction, they are left with only themselves to confront. This moment of quiet is where the shift happens. It's where power returns to you. Silence in the face of disrespect is deeply unsettling for those who wield cruelty as their weapon. They rely on your participation to justify their behavior. When you refuse to engage, you deprive them of the satisfaction they seek. But this silence isn't about winning or proving them wrong. It's about something much greater, maintaining your peace of mind. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Silence is your shield, your declaration that your inner calm is not up for negotiation. Many people misunderstand silence, mistaking it for weakness or submission. But the truth is the opposite. Silence requires immense strength, especially when you feel the urge to defend yourself. To remain quiet in the face of insult is not to ignore the wrong but to rise above it. It is the ultimate form of self-control, an act of mastery over your emotions. This is what sets the Stoic apart. While others react impulsively, the Stoic chooses silence. not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Let's consider the real-world impact of this principle. Imagine a heated argument with someone who refuses to listen. They hurl accusations, twist your words, and escalate the conflict at every turn. You've been in this situation before, you know how it goes. The more you argue, the more fuel you add to the fire, until the conversation becomes a battlefield of egos. But what if this time you chose silence? You listen without interruption. You meet their anger with stillness. And when they finally demand a response, you calmly say, "I have nothing to add." Their words lose power, their energy deflates, and the argument dissolves. Not because you lost, but because you refused to play. Epictetus offers us a profound reminder. It is not the actions of others which trouble us, but our reaction to them. When we react with anger or defensiveness, we allow others to dictate our emotions. Silence, however, breaks this cycle. It puts distance between their actions and your response, creating space for reflection and choice. This is where the real power of silence lies. It transforms you from a participant in their chaos into an observer of it. The practice of silence isn't easy. It requires restraint, patience, and the humility to let go of the need to be right. But its rewards are immeasurable. In silence, you protect your energy, conserve your strength, and create an aura of calm that others cannot disrupt. This doesn't mean you accept disrespect or allow others to walk over you. On the contrary, it sends a clear message. I will not lower myself to your level. My dignity is intact, and it is not yours to take. On a deeper level, silence reflects a profound understanding of the nature of insults. The Stoics teach us that words themselves are powerless. It is our interpretation of them that gives them meaning. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic minds, reminds us, an insult is only as powerful as you allow it to be. When we choose silence, we deny the insult any significance. It becomes like a wave breaking against a rock, dissipating without leaving a trace. There's a quiet beauty in this practice, a simplicity that cuts through the noise of conflict. Silence becomes not just a response, but a statement of who you are. It says, I am not here to fight. I am here to live in accordance with my values, to guard my peace, and to meet life's challenges with composure. This is the heart of Stoicism. Not to control what happens around us, but to master how we respond. The silent answer also offers unexpected opportunities for growth. When we refuse to engage, we gain the clarity to examine the situation more deeply. Was their disrespect rooted in misunderstanding, insecurity, or pain? While this doesn't excuse their behavior, it allows us to approach it with compassion instead of anger. In this way, silence fosters not only self-control but also empathy, transforming potential conflict into a chance for connection or understanding. The next time someone disrespects you, pause before responding. Breathe. Ask yourself, what will my silence achieve? More often than not, it will achieve everything words cannot. It will protect your energy, assert your boundaries, and maintain your dignity. It will remind you and them that your peace of mind is not for sale. If you've experienced the power of silence, or if you're ready to embrace it in your life, comment strength below. Remember, silence is not the absence of action. It is action of the highest order. We've only begun to uncover the Stoic ways to handle disrespect. The next two are even more powerful, teaching you how to set boundaries and protect your mental health without saying a word. If this video is already helping you reclaim your power, show your support by activating all the notifications. Let's spread Stoic wisdom together. The third way is to stop explaining your choices. The third way to handle disrespect is to stop explaining your choices. There is incredible power in living unapologetically, in making decisions rooted in your own values and standing by them without the need to justify yourself to others. Yet, how often do we find ourselves falling into the trap of explaining, defending, or seeking approval for the paths we choose? Someone questions your career move, your personal boundaries, or even how you spend your time, and suddenly you feel compelled to explain, as if your life requires validation from anyone but yourself. But the truth is, it doesn't. You owe no one an explanation for your choices. A simple, confident response, because I wanted to, speaks volumes, far more than any justification ever could. Seneca reminds us of this freedom when he writes, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. The man who craves more craves validation, approval, and the acceptance of others to feel whole." But the wise Stoic understands that true wealth lies in self-sufficiency, in the unshakable confidence that your life is yours alone to live. When you stop explaining your choices, you send a clear message. I am not living for your expectations or approval. I am living in accordance with my own principles. Imagine this scenario. You decide to take a break from a high-stress career to focus on your mental health, and someone, perhaps a colleague or family member, questions your decision. Why would you do that? Are you sure it's the right move? They ask, their tone laced with judgment. The temptation to explain might rise quickly. You might feel the urge to list reasons to justify your choice, to convince them that it's valid. But why? Their opinion does not change your reality. Instead, you calmly reply, "Because it's what I needed." No long explanation, no apology, just a confident assertion of your truth. And in that moment, you reclaim your power. Explaining your choices often stems from a subtle fear, the fear of being misunderstood or judged. But as Marcus Aurelius writes in Meditations, it never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. This is a profound reminder that seeking the approval of others often leads us away from our own path. When you prioritize their understanding over your own peace, you trade self-respect for temporary reassurance. The wise Stoic, however, understands that misunderstanding is inevitable. You cannot control how others perceive you, but you can control how much value you place on their perceptions. Refusing to explain your choices is not arrogance, it's clarity. It's recognizing that your life's purpose does not hinge on others' opinions. When you explain yourself, you risk diluting your convictions, framing them in a way that appeases others rather than remaining true to yourself. By contrast, a simple, unwavering statement like, "Because I wanted to communicate certainty, self-respect, and independence." It shows that your decisions are grounded in thought and intention, not shaped by external pressures. Consider how often we waste energy explaining decisions that, in reality, require no justification. You decline an invitation because you need rest, and someone asks, "Why? What else are you doing?" You choose to spend time alone instead of attending a gathering, and suddenly you're fielding questions about whether you're upset or avoiding people. In these moments, explaining feels like a burden because it is a burden you were never meant to carry. By choosing not to explain, you free yourself from the exhausting need to be understood by everyone. You allow yourself the space to simply be. This doesn't mean you shut people out or reject dialogue. It means you set boundaries between healthy conversation and unnecessary justification. If someone genuinely seeks to understand your perspective, you may choose to share, but the key is that you choose. Seneca puts it simply, be your own spectator. Seek your own applause. When you live this way, explanations lose their urgency. Your choices are guided by your own applause, your own inner compass, and that is enough. There's an elegance in this approach. It's like standing firm in a storm, watching the winds of others' opinions swirl around you, but never letting them uproot you. When someone questions your decisions, their judgment reflects more about their insecurities than it does about your actions. A person comfortable in their own path rarely feels the need to challenge someone else's. Recognizing this truth allows you to meet their questions with grace instead of defensiveness. You see their doubt for what it is, a reflection of them, not you, and that perspective liberates you from the need to explain. Let's take a deeper look at the dynamics of power here. When you stop explaining your choices, you disrupt a social expectation. Many people rely on explanations to gauge their influence over you. By refusing to provide one, you establish boundaries and demonstrate self-respect. This can feel uncomfortable for them at first, but it ultimately commands respect. Your silence on the matter becomes a declaration. My decisions are my own, and they do not require your endorsement. This is the Stoic way, not to dominate others, but to stand so firmly in your truth that no one can shake it. In the greater context of Stoicism, this practice aligns with the philosophy's core principles. Stoicism teaches us to focus only on what we can control, and nothing is more within our control than the decisions we make for our lives. When we seek approval through explanations, we give away that control. We place our happiness and peace in the hands of others, hoping they will grant us permission to live as we see fit. But the Stoic knows that peace comes from within, not from the fleeting approval of the external world. If you've ever felt the weight of explaining yourself, the pull to defend your choices even when you didn't need to, you understand the freedom that comes with letting go of this habit. It's not easy, especially in a world that often demands justification. But every time you choose not to explain, you strengthen your inner resolve. You affirm to yourself and to others that your life is yours alone to shape. Ask yourself, where in your life have you been over-explaining? What decisions have you felt compelled to justify to those who don't even walk your path? Reflect on this, and if you're ready to stop explaining and start standing tall in your choices, comment freedom below. As we move forward, we'll explore another powerful way to handle disrespect, one that involves creating space and protecting your energy. Let's continue on this journey of strength and self-respect together. The fourth way is to keep your distance. The fourth way to handle disrespect is to keep your distance. There is a quiet but profound power in knowing when to walk away, in recognizing that some people and situations are simply not worth your energy. Disrespect doesn't just hurt, it drains you, pulls your focus from what truly matters and anchors you to negativity. But the truth is, not everyone deserves access to your energy, and choosing to distance yourself from those who disrespect you is not selfish, it's survival. Marcus Aurelius reminds us of this in his timeless words, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. By creating space between yourself and those who undermine your peace, you reclaim that strength. You protect the most sacred thing you own, your mind. Distance is often misunderstood. People see it as avoidance, as running away from conflict. But in reality, it's the ultimate act of self-respect. It's saying, my peace is not negotiable, and I will not allow you to disrupt it. There's no anger in this decision, no need for a grand declaration. It's a quiet, intentional move, a withdrawal from a situation that no longer serves you. When someone consistently disrespects you, your presence can become a gift they take for granted. By stepping away, you take that gift back, and in your absence, they're forced to confront the void they've created. Imagine this. A colleague regularly dismisses your ideas in meetings, not with constructive feedback but with condescension. You've tried engaging them directly, offering clarity, and even giving them the benefit of the doubt. But their behavior persists. You realize that no amount of reasoning will change their attitude because their disrespect is not about you. It's about them. Instead of continuing to engage, you choose to keep your distance. You limit interactions to what is strictly necessary and focus your energy on colleagues who value and support you. This isn't avoidance, it's strategy. You've taken control of the situation by removing yourself from their influence, and in doing so, you've protected your dignity. Keeping your distance is not always easy. It often requires us to confront the fear of being seen as cold or selfish. But as Epictetus teaches, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This is a powerful reminder that the opinions of others, especially those who disrespect us, should not dictate our actions. Your responsibility is not to please everyone or endure toxic behavior for the sake of appearances. Your responsibility is to protect your peace so you can focus on what truly matters, your growth, your goals, and the relationships that uplift you. Sometimes, keeping your distance means more than just physical separation. It means emotional and mental separation as well. It's one thing to avoid someone's presence, but it's another to stop letting their words or actions linger in your mind. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you allow the negativity of others to occupy your thoughts, you carry their disrespect with you, even when they're not around. Creating distance means letting go, not just physically but emotionally, freeing yourself from their influence entirely. Consider the power dynamics at play when you keep your distance. Disrespect often comes from a need for control. When someone disrespects you, they are asserting dominance, testing your boundaries, or seeking a reaction. By choosing distance, you disrupt this dynamic entirely. You deny them the control they seek, showing them that their behavior has no hold over you. It's not a confrontation. It's a withdrawal, a refusal to engage on their terms. And that, in itself, is a statement of strength. Distance also creates clarity. When you step back from someone who disrespects you, you gain perspective. You're no longer caught in the daily friction of their negativity, and you can see the situation more objectively. You begin to notice patterns in their behavior, recognize your own triggers, and understand what needs to change. This clarity is invaluable. It allows you to move forward with intention, to set boundaries that protect your well-being, and to invest your energy in relationships that nurture rather than deplete you. But perhaps the most significant impact of keeping your distance is the space it creates for growth. When you're no longer consumed by the negativity of others, you have more time and energy to focus on yourself. You can pursue your goals, deepen your relationships with those who respect you, and cultivate the inner peace that Stoicism champions. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. This is not just advice, it's a way of life. Surround yourself with those who challenge and inspire you, and let go of those who diminish you." In the grander context of Stoicism, keeping your distance aligns with the principle of focusing on what is within your control. You cannot control how others treat you, but you can control how much access they have to your life. You cannot force someone to respect you, but you can choose to walk away when they don't. This is not about building walls or isolating yourself. It's about creating boundaries that honor your worth. It's about prioritizing your mental and emotional health so you can live in accordance with your values. As you reflect on this practice, ask yourself, who in your life consistently disrespects you? What would happen if you chose to create distance, not out of anger, but out of self-respect? It's not an easy decision, but it's a necessary one. And if you've ever felt the peace that comes from walking away from negativity, you know it's worth it. If you're ready to protect your energy and create space for positivity, comment distance below. Remember, keeping your distance is not about running away. It's about stepping into your strength and taking control of your life. The final way to handle disrespect isn't just a technique, it's a statement. It's how you carry yourself, how you communicate strength without words. It's the ultimate test of your inner resolve, and it's something every Stoic must master. The final way is to hold your head high. The final way to handle disrespect is to hold your head high. Disrespect seeks to drag you into its orbit, to make you feel small, unseen, and unworthy. But when you stand tall, meet their gaze, and carry yourself with quiet confidence, you send a message louder than any words could convey. I will not be diminished by you. Your posture becomes a shield, your dignity an unbreakable foundation. It's what Seneca meant when he wrote, "The wise man is content with his own approval." This isn't arrogance or defiance. It's the calm strength of someone who knows their worth and refuses to negotiate it. Your physical presence is a reflection of your inner state. A slouched posture, downward gaze, or hesitant movements can unconsciously signal doubt or insecurity, giving others an opening to exploit. But when you hold your head high, shoulders back, and walk with purpose, you exude an unspoken authority that commands respect. This is confidence, not the loud, boastful kind that demands attention, but the quiet, self-assured kind that leaves no room for question. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Holding your head high is the ultimate act of non-reaction. It's a declaration that no matter how they try to provoke you, you remain above their pettiness. Imagine someone hurling insults your way, expecting anger or defensiveness in return. Instead, you stand tall, looking them calmly in the eye. You neither flinch nor respond with aggression. Your composure is impenetrable, your demeanor unshaken. Their words lose their power in the face of your unwavering presence. This moment of stillness, of self-possession, is where the tide begins to turn. They realize they cannot touch you, and in that realization, they begin to see the futility of their actions. Holding your head high is not just about physical posture. It's about embodying dignity in every aspect of your being. It's about showing the world that you respect yourself, and in doing so, setting a standard for how others should treat you. This doesn't mean forcing others to respect you. That's beyond your control. But it does mean making it clear that their disrespect has no bearing on your value. Epictetus teaches, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. When you carry yourself with respect, others cannot help but take notice, even if they don't admit it. If this resonates with you, comment dignity below. Let's affirm the strength and confidence that comes from within. As we close, remember that the path of wisdom isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about facing them with grace, clarity, and resilience. And holding your head high is one of the most powerful ways to do just that. But how do you develop this unshakable self-respect, especially when the world tries to test it? Let's reflect on that next. Disrespect is everywhere, but as Stoics, we don't crumble under its weight. We rise above it with strength, dignity, and the wisdom of ancient philosophy. You don't need to fight, explain, or lower yourself. Instead, embody the power of calm confidence and let them face the consequences of their own actions. If you found strength in today's video, like, share, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom. And remember to leave a comment and join the conversation. Let's build an unshakable community of modern Stoics. See you next time.